My N27 GFF22, whom I work with, lied and left me for another man. Needs some advice how to move on. Long story, but here we go. So it all started about 2 years ago when I transferred stores due to C*vid. Honestly, when I first saw her, I didn't think much of it. Figured it was just normal butterflies meeting new people. We started talking and getting along in a professional manner, and actually work really well. While that was happening, we had found ourselves talking more and more each time we worked together. I come to find out she has ABF that she lives with, as well as her brother. I'm not bummed or anything, as I didn't really develop romantic feelings for her yet, but rather a good friendship. Fast forward about a year or so and she says her and her BF are broken up. She said she couldn't take him ignoring her, constantly yelling and fighting, you know, the usual kind of stuff people vent about. But she can't move out due to lease, financial issues. I listened and sympathized with her. How could I not feel bad? I couldn't imagine living with an ex. I suggested she maybe move back in with her mom or dad or relative. She said she and her mom do not get along at all, and her dad is out of state, and on top of that she can't drive cause she never got her license, and actually gets rides from her ex for work. Then she dropped a big bombshell. At this point in time she went to the doctors to check out a bump and it turned out to be cancer. I sympathized and said if she needs any support I'll always listen. At this point, when we started working together more, we have started talking more again. We both come to find out we have a lot in common, like we almost enjoy doing the exact same things very deeply, and as we work together. She has vented how she has a crush on some guy and can't wait to move out of her place, to get away from her ex. So me being me, I teased her a bit and told her to pursue whoever it may be cause we all deserve to be with someone we enjoy being with. Fast forward a couple months. One day we had a couple drinks after work and hung out going outside disc golfing and really enjoying it. After it started to get dark, we ended up back at her place while her ex was working. We got along great and had a great time. She told me she's never told anybody this much about herself, and that I know her better than anybody else. I even met her bro she lives with and we even hit it off. I go to leave and on the drive home, I realized I'm starting to fall for this girl, but not super hard, cause she still lives with her ex and I don't want to start a relationship like that. I figure there's still probably some lingering feelings, even if she complains and says how terrible he is all of the time. Fast forward a couple more weeks, we ended up hanging out a bit more. One night again, while having a couple drinks after work, she ended up kissing me, and then she says, "Wanna take a guess who my crush was?" I couldn't believe it. I felt great and so happy that she actually liked me. So I told her, "I'm glad you like me cause I like you too. But I don't want to do anything or pursue further when you're still living with your ex." I had to put my foot down on that. But to my surprise, she smiled at me and said, "I understand. I'd be skeptical too if someone I liked lived with an ex." A few more weeks go by. When we work, we flirt more, are much closer with our bodies and body language, compliment each other non-stop, tease each other non-stop. We end up hugging more and kissing a little more, hanging out just a little bit more, playing games with each other when we're both at our homes, going out every now and then, snaping and messaging a lot. We have become a thing, and we both have talked to each other and said we only have eyes for one another and want this to be a thing. A couple more weeks forward, around the start of January, she says her ex is going crazy, throwing things around the house and yelling, etc., and she doesn't want to be in her home right now. This is where I believe I may have gone wrong. I just listened and let her talk through it all. I didn't offer to come get her to stay at my place cause I didn't want a situation where she ends up moving in with me right away. I very much like my space and need to slowly have someone integrate into it. She again said she can't wait to leave her house. The next day at work I asked how she was, how the rest of the night went. She said her brother's friend, we will call him JK, came over, and they ended up going to his house and staying the night with him and his roommates now. I wasn't the biggest fan of that, but I understood why she and him wanted to get out that night, but it still bugged me. She was at another dude's house for the night, even though her own brother was there. I did my best to just let it go, cause nothing seemed different with her too much. Then one day at work she says, I feel like you don't want me. You don't talk as much and have been distant. I didn't really know what to say. I felt like we were still getting along. And hitting it off, sure, I was a little uncomfortable with her being at JK's house, so I told her pretty much just that. And added, I'm sorry you feel that way. I feel like we've really been getting along great and getting to know each other more and more. Deeply, but is there anything I can do to help make you feel better? She said she wanted to know that I want her. So I reaffirmed that I do. But also remind her I don't want to pursue anything more until you are out of your exes. She seems to accept this and we move on with the day. Fast forward to the middle of January. I come to find out the brother's friend JK that came over and then had them stay was indeed a friend of her brother's, but also one of her exes from middle school. That flipped some kind of switch in me. It was middle school. So no big deal, but at the same time, still an ex. Regardless, I still told her. I care and hope that she can find a place sooner rather than later, and we can really move forward in our relationship and start it in a more healthy manner. Around now is when I notice she doesn't message back as much, and when she does, there's massive gaps of time between. So, while at work I ask if she wants to go out for the night. She said she would, but she had plans. This set off another alarm in my head. She almost never makes plans, as she only has about 3 very close friends and she always tells me about what's going on with them. When I asked what her plans were, she just said, oh, just hanging out. I had to let it go cause we were at work and got busy. Now at the end of January, she comes into work. Doesn't seem like much is different, but I was feeling particularly down, as I received bad news regarding my dad's health, so I grab her and just hold her. She holds back. She said that was really nice and want to cuddle and be held more, and she really wishes we could do more. I had to reiterate again. I want to wait till she is out of her ex's house till we take the next step. I feel like it's be unwise and unhealthy to start this with an ex in the picture. I also was somewhat put off noticing she has been wearing newer clothes and different scents. Now at the beginning of February, she has become very distant, even more spaced in our messaging, and she can never seem to hang out, go out for the night, unless I plan way far ahead. So I just ask one day after work, can I come over and we can just talk? She said yes. I go over and I just end up asking it. Is there a thing between you and JK? She looks me in the eyes and says not really, no. It's definitely not anything you need to worry about. He's just been super nice and understands how bad my ex can get, but I will cut him out 100% of it makes you feel better. I accepted it as she looked me in the eyes and made no other indication of being unsure or lying. I, however, didn't say to cut him out 100%. I'd like to try to come to a compromise, but for right now it'd be nice to know that you want me and only me. Later in that same night, we were on the couch cuddled up, kissing and watching TV and having an amazing time. Then her phone goes off. I see it on the table. The name that pops up is by AF. My gut sank. I asked who was calling and she reluctantly said it was JK. I asked why is his name by AF in your phone? She says I don't know. I asked what does that mean? How do you not know? She just kept saying I don't know. I asked her if I could see what they have been messaging about, and she said nothing. Just stared blankly. I asked once more, and she said, I don't really ever talk to him. I ignore almost all of his calls, see. She then proceeded to show me a whopping 1 missed call on Snap, but while she was scrolling to get there, I spotted a bunch of heart emojis and said for her to stop. And let me see what they were talking about. I lost it. They were calling each other babe and sending kiss, heart emojis. How they enjoyed spending time with one another, and how great each night was. Then one message in particular, how JK was saying he loves cuddling her through the night. A few nights ago, I said I feel betrayed. You lied to me. How can you do this, etc. I put her phone down and said F*Q and left. She ran out to my car saying, please wait, I love you and I just want a minute to talk. I slammed the door in her face and left. She messaged me later saying she's not going to be coming into work for the next couple days, as well as please respond, I feel in love with you so hard. To which I responded, I think you can understand that I'm going to need time to say anything. Plus I'm sure JK is heading over RN anyways. To which she responded, awfully bold of you to assume that, seeing as I said I'd cut him out of my life for you. But I understand you need time to say anything. But just know I won't be in for work for the next 2 days. 'Cause I don't think it's a good idea to see each other. A couple days pass. We see each other for the first time since it all happened. We haven't messaged or talked at all since. I am indeed mopey and angry but can work. So that's what we do. We work. About halfway through I ask if she wants to talk about it after we're done, and can give her a ride home. She agrees and says she'll message her ex to let him know she doesn't need a ride. So we start talking after work. I ask what's going on. She just shrugs and says, I don't know, I'm bad at talking, so I just ask, are you still talking to JK? She says she's not, and she even deleted Snapchat. I asked if she wants to even try to be in a relationship. And she says she doesn't know what to do and she feels like I can't trust her, to which I agreed. I said she broke my trust. And if this is gonna work, we both are gonna have to put in a lot of work and openly communicate. So I asked for nothing but open honesty. And I wanted to see if she really did stop talking to JK. She showed me that Snapchat wasn't on her phone, and she even started to type it in her search bar. And there was app info for Snapchat. I asked her to click on it. She did, and it said Snapchat is installed. So I asked how she messaged her ex to let him know you don't need a ride. She exclusively uses Snap to message him. She stayed silent for almost a full minute before saying I guess Snapchat, so I looked her in the eyes and asked what's going on. She paused for about another minute before saying, JK came over for the night after you left cause no one would talk to me. And I was cutting myself because of you. She had lied so much at this point. I'm not proud of what I said next. I asked her to show me her cuts, and she refused and left my car and walked away. She never even apologized for anything she did and tried to blame it all on me. I don't believe she did harm herself, but I still felt kind of bad. I hurt so bad. I genuinely thought I found a girl who could accept me for who I am, and what I want for a relationship. Regardless, I have done no contact other than work talk to figure out the schedule and new hires. And at work, I don't talk to her unless it's needed for work. But now work is so painful to see her on her phone smiling all of the time. Now getting rides from JK. We don't talk anymore. We don't have fun at work anymore. She and I are extremely important to the operation of the company though, and we both kind of need this job. But I don't know what to do here. I'm trying to move on. I don't want to try to salvage this, but it's so hard to do that when I have to see her almost every day. The damage is unrepairable in my eyes. She seems to have moved on already with JK while I'm just left behind alone again. The second day was the worst in terms of me showing my sadness. After that, I've just been keeping distance at work and not talking to her. Any advice would be awesome. Sorry for the essay. Thank you for reading this all. My comment, I don't understand this girl and guy at all. Why does she meet her man and simultaneously communicate with her ex? If my girlfriend kept communicating with her ex, then I wouldn't let her do it. After all, this is an ex-boyfriend. That is, they once had feelings. These feelings are still in their hearts, and at any time love can play between them again. Why is this communication? I believe that an ex-boyfriend is no longer a friend, but a lover. What do you think? Write your opinion in the comments. Like it if you liked this story, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening to this story.